guys, welcome back to another video on the Fazer today, of course. I've already just come back from a decent ride. We did about, well, 100 mile maybe, somewhere around there. But got back and the files were corrupt. I've had a few problems lately with it happening, so I've switched memory cards now. Hopefully it's that, and hopefully it's not the GoPro on its way out. I'll be pretty annoyed if the GoPro is dying, because I haven't really had it that long and it was new when I bought it. And today I just thought I'd come for a little ride up this road. Hoping it looks slippy. A little ride up this road that I like. It's quite close to my house. And it's just a pleasant little road. Tarmac's been pretty bad today actually, especially on the roads that we were just on earlier. All been ripped up and not very good at all. Golf behind is wanting to have a little bit of fun, so why not? Just have to be careful with sheep on this road, and also pheasants. They'll make a mess if you hit one. Birds like that in general. I actually don't know what the audio is going to be like in this video. I've been having some problems with this Sony microphone. I think it's the MC3 or something like that it's called. Why is this isn't car? It's way softer on that side. Is that cattle grid? There's a massive bump on the side of the road that we're on. I've been having some problems with it. I don't know if it's the frequency of the new engine or exhaust note or what, but I've just been having some real problems with audio when I've been watching video files back. getting him to actually, you know, to the point where you can hear the audio and all you can hear is wind noise. It's a little bit frustrating. I have actually been thinking of doing the RJ approach to it though, just not having a microphone attached to the GoPro, just have a separate sound recorder for the noise of the bike, and then anytime I want to talk it'll just be normal GoPro audio. I don't really know which audio recorder to go with though, because I mean the one he uses is over £200, and for what I do I don't really think that's viable. I don't want to spend that much, but I still want the audio to be reasonable. I wouldn't mind spending sort of half that if I go for like sort of between 80 and 100, 110, something like that, then that'd be a bit more acceptable. But I've got to do some more research into that. It's just something I'm considering at the moment. Bye Golf. It's such a weird transition from a 125 to a big bike. It's far more than just difference in power and difference in weight. There's one thing that I've noticed, because I used to like to lean my 125 over fairly far. I'd had it as far as it would go basically. I had the pegs scraping out, and the difference in the cornering, having a fat wide tyre that you can, it's more progressive. The lean, you can, I think it's smoother would probably be the best word. You sort of like, you can lean and then just keep going and going and going, as rather with the 125 you were over, and because the tyres were so thin you got them right over so quickly. I've noticed a big difference, especially running on roads like this, which were roads that I used to ride my 125 up and down all the time, because they're just pretty good fun really. And I do love the noise this bike makes as well. I've forgotten what pipe it's got on it actually. Nothing too fancy, it's not an Acro or anything like that, but it does just sound good. I think it suits the bike, it's not too offensive and in your face, and just on the down rev you get just some nice little pops sometimes. It's a bit hard to pick it up, as I say. I've been having a few audio troubles just of late, but it does just make some nice pops just as you hit about 4,000. Oh, that noise! So good. Always love the noise of an inline 4. There's one thing I was going to point out as well about this bike that I've noticed so far, just from the limited time I've had it, is the fuel consumption is anywhere near as bad as what I thought it was going to be. They said the fuel tank will do about 130 miles. Well, we did 165 yesterday, and then I did another, what would it have been today, earlier, before we got fuel, maybe about 40. So it was in the 200 range anyway total, and there was still over a quarter of a tank left in the tank. Beautiful view. I used to like coming here and taking pictures with the YBR. It's a little bit harder when you've got a much heavier bike. Well, it's not actually much heavier, but it's, you know, in the next step up to middleweight. It's much harder to find a decent spot of grass to just put it up against. Fazer. Lovely. Already in 6th. Whoops. Something else I need to get used to is not having 6 gears over the YBR. I used to always go for a 6 gear with the YB, it was only 5, and now I've got 6, I keep going for 7. So yeah, the sort of final deciding factor for getting this bike, not only is it clean, it was well priced, the insurance is cheap, decent fuel economy, perfect sort of practice bike for getting used to the transition. Also, they make obviously a 1000cc version of this bike. So if in 12 months, 18 months, 2 years, whatever, I think, right, I've got the handle on this bike now, I've took it to its limit, or what I feel it can, what I feel its limit is, where do I move from there? Well, potentially get the 1000cc version, so it's sort of a bike you're familiar with, be with a bit more power, a bit more to think about. Obviously having some good fun. I'm just going to pull in here, possibly take a picture or two. Lovely. Hey, I didn't go for 7, I just went for 6. I call that progress. I call that a very nice view. Look at that. Lovely. Oh, I am a happy man today. So far I've not heard any beeps, so hopefully the GoPro is still on and working.